Hello, welcome to installment number 3 of playing Amulet on a budget. We're going to be playing some similar list to the one that we played in the last video, but we're going to be making some very small yet significant upgrades. Number one, this is one of the bigger ones. Like the deck list that we're talking about today is going to be a grand total of $515, and the vast majority of this number, like the vast majority of this increase in the number, is going to be taken up by one single card, which is Cavern of Souls. This card is very expensive, very expensive, and it's been forever very expensive, and it's been reprinted and it remains very expensive because this card is messed up, and unfortunately it's so expensive because it is so good and so irreplaceable in a way. I mean, of course you can just replace it like we've been doing with a Crumbling Vestige. In fact, that's what we're going to be replacing it for today, but the upgrade that you get from adding a Cavern of Souls to your Amulet deck is insane, because the first copy is extremely good. The reason for that obviously being that you can transmute for it with Lurrus. So whenever you're playing against any sort of counterspell style deck, be it blue-white, be it the 4-color control decks, even be it Murktide, you now have something to draw towards, right? Like when your opponent is taking it slow and just like hitting the land drops and stuff like that, usually if you don't have access to Cavern of Souls, you're in a situation where you kind of just have to jam your prime time or your tracker, and you just have to cross your fingers and hope that it works, because you don't really have any other way to work through the counter magic. Now that we have access to Cavern of Souls, now we can actually take it slow, and we can spend our time, transmute for our Cavern, set things up so that whenever we do cast our Titan, is going to guaranteed calm down and is going to deal some damage, So because of that, I think it's time at this point to finally make this upgrade, and I think it's going to be worth it. I think it's going to bring the power level of the deck significantly higher. So that's why what we're going to be doing this week. Of course, we're adding one more card, and the second one is Force of Vigor. If you checked out our second series video, we actually lost a match against Bloodmoon. And surprisingly, because that's just kind of what you're signing up for whenever you're playing this deck. And what happens is you need to draw your basic forest, which we're playing 5 copies of, by the way, and it is because of this, because we don't have access to our Force of Vigors. So because of that, we're forced into playing more basics so that we can draw the basics alongside our Blood Moon answers, and those are the only ways that we can actually play through a Blood Moon, or like beat a Resolve Blood Moon, I should say. Now that we have access to Force of Vigor, that actually is going to make things a lot easier for us. Particularly last week we played against Scred Red, and yeah, obviously, like if we have had access to something like Force against a deck like Scred, you have, they're not really clocking you that fast, but if there's a Blood Moon in play, you can't cast your card. So little does it matter that your opponent's not clocking you very quickly, because you can't do anything about it. Like you can't actually punish them for all the times they're taking in order to kill you. So now that we have access to Force of Vigor, this is going to make things a lot better in our Blood Moon matchups. It's going to make things a lot better in our Hammer matchups as well, and even more so in our mirror matches, right? Like, and Force of Vigor is just an all-star in all of those matchups, and having access to, again, like the ideal deck list would play 3 copies of Force of Vigor in the sideboard over, the Seal Primordium and the Nature's Claim that I'm playing right here. Force of Vigor, I just learned that it's like $30 or something like that in paper, actually, which I was very surprised about. But that seems to be what's going on these days. So because of that, I wasn't able to just put a bunch of Force of Vigors in my initial deck list, because again, we're trying to play on a budget. So besides that, again, I do think that my list is fairly strong, due taking into account the constraints of wanting to play on a budget. I think having access to the main deck explosives is a lot more valuable in a list like this. I think that the tireless trackers in the main deck have been pretty solid overall, and now they're going to be even better, because Cavern of Souls actually can name human, and that counts for both your tireless tracker and your Asusas, so that's something important to keep in mind. Also, Beast, Bailoff is a beast, and so is Gracer, another thing to keep in mind. But yeah, we're going to be taking this deck list through a league, I guess I forgot Liberator is also a human on the front side. So, but yeah, we're gonna be taking this through a league then, and yeah, hopefully if you are enjoying it, let me know in the comments below, as I say every week, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I'll see you for number 1. See you there. All right, first hand from the first match, not looking great. Ship it. Looking a little bit better, but not by much, really. Opponent does not reveal companion, which means they're probably... I'm gonna gamble that my opponent's playing rhinos. That's what I'm gonna do. Opponent moves to 6. The fact that we don't even have an untapped source is kind of a beating, because even if we do find an Azusa or something like that, we're going to be pretty far behind. Our best draw bar known is Amulet, obviously. Yawg? Maybe it is Yawg. Oh no, should have attacked with the plant token into my opponent's Gilded Goose. The value that I left on the table. I guess actually it's correct for me to not attack and not meme, because... Ooh. Wait, what? Turn 2 Liliana? Okay. Hieroglyphic Illumination. Well, color me surprised, I guess. So we're gonna play the... What could my opponent be playing over there? I think I'm gonna have to pact for either Dryad or Tracker. I'm gonna be into Lurrus here. Overrun Tomb. Because otherwise I'm gonna cast the Titan if I'm lucky. Like, I still need to find an untapped source, and if I'm lucky I'm gonna cast the Titan on the turn where I'm just gonna go for a Tireless Tracker here. And that is also the turn that the Liliana ultimates, so I have to pay for my pact before the Lily ults for obvious reasons. Tracker also allows me to play through the Lily, which is nice. I think I'm going to discard the castle here, because Bog could be good against Tarmogoyf. Tracker can pressure the Lily. They can use the land drop to block with Creeping Tar Pit, which I think it's fine. These random plant tokens doing a fantastic job against the Liliana minus. Otherwise my opponent would be able to very easily just like minus and Tracker and just, you know, move on with their life. But these random plant tokens are doing a lot of work for me. Gilded Goose seems kind of sketchy in that deck, honestly. Like, they played Liliana on turn 2, but then they just went back on mana. So, like, it's not... They, like, got a one-shot ramp, and that's it. I don't know, I'm not, like, super stoked about it. Tasigur the Golden Fang. They didn't want to play a Tasigur on this board. They have to have a second one. Oh. They're just low rolling me. They're just low rolling me because I'm just dead to the Field of Ruin on the Silencian Sanctuary. Sure. I mean, I wasn't expecting them to be able to... Wait, they don't see it? There's no way they don't see it, right? I mean, I guess I could have played around this if I had gone for Dryad. Why is my opponent slow rolling me here? I don't get it. Do they just not see it? Maybe they just don't see it. I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna concede, right? Like, I'm just gonna make my opponent do it. It's just very funny that they actually, like, I'm literally dead on board. Oh man, this is killing me. Drum roll is my opponent. They, you know what? It may happen. Like, they're just googling it or something. Oh wow, they didn't see it. Woo! Woof. That's gonna be really bad for me. Dodge a bullet there. So definitely gonna bog that. And I am attacking. Because if my opponent trades the Creeping Tar Pit, ecstatic about that. Yeah, this is just very good. Like, and if they ultimate, if they ultimate, then they don't tax my hand and their Liliana dies. Like, they didn't make any mana, so they're not holding up counterspell. So I guess here they can field. Like, they can plus here and field me. They can plus here and field me. They should probably just ultimate Liliana, I think. Each player discards a card. Okay, my opponent's playing with fire over there a little bit. Second Liliana that they can cast. So I imagine here they're going to blow up my sanctuary. Actually, they should blow up my castle. Because if I find any untapped land, then... yeah, I was going to say, they should blow up the castle. This is draw step. So the mana that I float here doesn't really do anything for me. I am going to float mana, however. Here's a land. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we know that we didn't find a land drop, right? So I'm just going to crack this clue here. It's another Primeval Titan. That's Summoner's Pact. So I guess I'm just going to play my Growth Chamber. And I think I'm bouncing the Forest. So I imagine my opponent is going to ultimate Liliana here, which is okay. They're gonna split my lands and my plant tokens. So I'm gonna have 3 mana. Yeah. I'm gonna have 3 mana and a plant token. Wait, what? Yeah. And then I'm gonna just pact for another. So whether I think I care more about this than I care about the Bojuki box, so I'm gonna sacrifice this pile. Oops. And now we get to pact for another Tireless Tracker. And again, we lose to Field of Ruin, but that's fine. Second Tracker, play land, play this, make a clue, play an Amulet, pass the turn. We're gonna discard one of these Primeval Titans. Tracker can put a little bit of pressure on this Liliana. I mean, all of this time my opponent's been plussing and they've been discarding their own cards, right? So that's kind of nice. The Fairy Master of Time. Wow. Okay. So this faces out a creature. So that makes it so this tracker is gonna be. They have push. They do have they have the push enabled because of the Gilded Goose. So if they do have Fatal Push, that's kind of a beating, but I mean we're still sort of in this game. Actually. They don't plus Liliana. Land. That's a grazer. So imagine they're gonna minus on Teferia. treat it as anything attached to it and through they don't exist until its controller's next turn. Okay, so their entire turn this doesn't exist, which means that they can't kill it. That's really funny. That's very, very funny. Like the tracker actually can't die now. That's super funny. All right, so here's the Tassiger. The Banana King is here. Second Banana King, by the way. You got my Gracer. So any land is good. Any bounce land just straight up wins, which is also nice. So let's crack Clue token first. See what's up. That's a bounce land. So we can't cast Titan here. But that's fine. Crack Clue, find more info before we do anything. So it's a lot of Primeval Titans. I think I get this because it plays around my opponent decaying my Amulet, and I'm gonna offer the trade. We obviously got enough value from this tireless tracker, so I'm gonna offer the trade. I assume my opponent takes it. They can activate Tassiger here, but I don't think I'm too concerned about it. They just chump. Okay. This is good. Yeah, you may have a Force of Negation. That's all you, my friend. This is actually pretty good for me. And that's very smart of them to activate before the Gilded Goose goes to the graveyard, because otherwise I was just going to give them the Gilded Goose. Tassiger, giving them a card that they don't want, then banning it, so I give them the same card again. Shardless Agent, wow. I kind of do appreciate people trying to make Shardless Agent work in a fair way. It doesn't. Like, it's not good enough for Modern. Yeah, they don't have too many choices there. It just doesn't work. Like, it's just not a good enough value card anymore. But I do appreciate people, you know, giving it a shot. It's fun, you know. That's what Magic is about, really. So I can haste here. Can haste Titan. My opponent is going to face out, which is fine. It takes three loyalty, sorry, from the Teferi. They can plus Liliana if they discard the last card. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. All right, so this looks fantastic against any Liliana deck, as you may expect. Relic looks pretty solid as well. We'll cut a couple of Gracers, not too high on that. Man, like our entire deck is bangers. All of them are bangers. So, do I care about the Ghost? So, I think we probably want to cut Cavern of Souls because my opponent's playing Shardless Agent, so they can't have Counterspell. They could have Aether Gust, but I don't know. Like, I mean, it's possible that my opponent may just maybe playing the combo of Shardless Agent plus Counterspell. I don't know. I do feel like this match we did get away with murder with my opponent, just not feel a ruin in my land. Tracker looks pretty good though, so I want another copy over maybe a Summoner's Pact. They do have access to ways of messing with my mana, but this sort of matchup is historically extremely good for us though. Opponent moves to 6. I'm gonna keep this hand. This is a fine opening hand against a matchup like this. My opponent went turn 2 Liliana and didn't really achieve anything. Liliana is one of those cards that really the fire design philosophy hasn't been kind to poor Lily. So this relic is gonna make it so, like, my opponent better have a discard spell on one, because this relic's gonna be a ton of pain for them. Blooming Marsh. Thoughtseize. Alright. I assume they take their relic. Relic and Explore are, in my opinion, the only possible takes here. Unless they have Surgical Extraction. If they have Surgical, then obviously they can just take the prime time. And it's gonna be a good play. It doesn't seem like they have Surgical though. And now we play our own Surgical by doing that right there. Now what? What's your next play, opponent? Tarmogoyf. You want to play Tarmogoyf? Start with that. Play this. Explore. Play that. Your go. Consider. Sure. Liliana. Ashiok Nightmare Weaver. Now, that's not the Ashiok that I'm scared of, so that's good for me. What did they exile? Valakut, Pact, Growth Chamber. Do we crack? I think I do want to crack. Play tracker, play land, get a clue, say go. Get my 2-for-1. Now if we find a bounce land, we're looking just very, very good. Liliana. Okay, Liliana minus. That's fine. Stolen Azusa. Can we find a land here? Bounce land. Colony Garden. Can so I guess I want to do this, play this, and play that, and we're gonna pact for Baloth, I think. When my opponent pluses. Did bring in the Baloth, right? Yes, I did. Sweet. Saw the top 3 cards. That's true. Primeval Titans. All right. This is my last prime time. That's it. No plus. All right. Land? Oof. Okay. What is this? Vendilion Click? Oh, please tell me this is a V-Click. Please tell me this is a V-Click. It doesn't do anything, because like if they take the Titan, I just packed for it, right? So that doesn't really achieve anything, but I just want to see Vendilion Click being cast. They just plus. I mean, I'm just going to go for Titan, right? Because it's the only way that I can pressure this. So I'm going to do that. Bounce this, cast Primeval Titan. And I guess they could have something like Cast Down. What I'm gonna do is this. This allows me to also cast the Azusa right now, which I think is fairly important. So I can keep the party going. So float some mana. Bounce that. Bounce that. We got no packs to pay for. Play this. Vesuva here. Opponent has conceded from the game. Yeah, I'm surprised by the Ashiok Nightmare Weaver. Like, I don't know what we're trying to achieve with this. Like, it just doesn't seem like a Modern Power Lover kind of card. Maybe they just got confused. They wanted the other Ashiok. Anyway, see you next round. Alright, round number 2 with a fantastic hand. Easy keep. Turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Dryad. Got a tracker to put on pressure. Hand's pretty good. Very, very good. No companion is... I feel like at this point I'm more scared when my opponent does reveal a companion than when they don't. Because usually when they reveal a companion, my decisions my mulligan decisions are a little bit more informed. Because you limit by a lot the possibilities. But when they don't show companion, this could be anything from the mirror to some form of like control deck to some form of combo deck, like something like a Living End or even the Rhinos deck. So it could be a bunch of different things. So I think we're gonna be fine with this hand though. I don't want to say almost regardless we're gonna be fine with this hand, but so the first play is like turn number 1 is pretty much scripted. Like it's not we really have many options, but what are we gonna do on turn 2? I guess it's gonna be informed by my draw step. My draw step's gonna matter a lot because I may want to play around DRC. I may want to play around removal on my Dryad or removal on my Amulet. Probably not removal on my Amulet because it seems like my opponent's on blue-red. If this is Murktide, so we're not able to play both. Do I develop mana or do I... It's pretty likely my Dryad dies, isn't it? Yeah, but I just have to do it, I think. I think it's pretty likely my Dryad dies here, but it's fine. Like, the thing is that I don't think it's likely my Amulet dies, so that's the reason for wanting to do this. So opponent can't attack, so they're holding up Counterspell. So let's play this. And what I'm gonna do, now that I drew the second land, I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna jam both of this, and I'm gonna jam the second Dryad first. They did being a Counterspell. Maybe they'll counter this. They can kill one of the Dryads to deny me the extra land drop. They don't, which means that we get a land drop here. I assume this is gonna die to a heat. It doesn't die to a heat. Okay. So pass the turn. I don't want to attack because Lightning Bolt's pretty bad for my opponent here. And I don't want to make it good. Particularly because if they complete Delirium, then 2 mana. Consider. Okay. Keep on top. Right. I assume it's an Unholy Heat. Lightning Bolt the tracker. Okay. Just draw a card right now, just so I can F6. Like, I'm gonna be doing this regardless, right? Next turn we can play Primeval Titan. Opponent passing the turn. Can we draw? If we draw natural prime time. We could go for Valakut. My opponent's missing land drops. I think we're gonna go for Valakut here. Go for Valakut, play Valakut. Play this. Play that. So now I need two removal spells. And I'm just putting like insane amounts of pressure on my opponent. Transmute for Summoner's Pact to use my mana efficiently here. And like they're losing to my hand, but they're also losing to my board at the same time. And sure, like they can like haste the monkey, right? But like whatever, I don't care. Yep, that only kills one of my dryads. You're still losing to the other one. But they're also kind of losing to my Summoner's Pact as well. So my opponent's between a rock and a hard place. So play this, shoot you. Play this, shoot you. Down to 4. Pass the turn. So next turn they're dead. They ban the DRC. So it's basically Unholy Heat or Bust, except it doesn't do it now. Because they're dead on main phase 1. So even if they do have the heat, so they need to find the heat off of the Consider on my end step. And they could Consider into heat and then just kill the Dryad, then they can untap, and I can't really do anything until I draw a second threat. A second threat, so I can double spell. But now, yeah, like we just put them on the squeeze, right? Like where we got ahead very quickly and then they're just dying to our board state, but they also die into our hand. Which is what you want to do. That's how you want to pressure this type of matchup. So obviously the relics are coming in. Liberator's great. I think we want Force. We want Thrun. Explosives is interesting. I don't think we want Ghost Quarter. Grazer is fantastic. Can cut Explorers. Can cut one Asusa. Tracker's interesting in this matchup. Still, I'm not sure how I feel about it. See the Primordium also interesting. We can play this under counter magic. I think this is what we want to do. Not sold on the engineered explosives. Honestly, why does Thrun not have a reach, right? Thrun should totally have reach. He looks like a young guy, right? He could probably jump and grab onto a flyer. Yeah, so explosives versus Sealer Primordium, like this is the question here. I think I'm gonna go with explosives, but I could see the other way. Maybe flip things around on the draw. No, I don't think so. This is just fine. Round number 2. Yeah, keep this thing. Got a Cavern. Can't be too upset about a hand with Cavern. We're gonna go turn 1 Castle, because I may top deck a Grazer, and I want to make sure that I can cast it if I do. block some monkey. Double bubble. Double bubble, double trouble. Okay. Well, they know about this, so might as well play that, I guess. Still don't know what I want to do with this Lurrus West. Gracer would have been a pretty good draw there. Liberator. I don't think I want to do that. I think I'm going to play Lurrus West and say go. Blood Moon is not very good for my opponent here. Bounce Land is our best draw. Just gonna name Dryad. One of Cavern coming in clutch. One of Cavern coming in clutch. And here, I guess it's correct for me to... Oh, they have Gusto. Fetch Shock. Interesting. Dress down. Okay. That means we don't get the extra land draw, but they honestly seems kind of a waste. Like, this card is really good against us. Does that mean they have a second copy? It could mean that they have a second copy. Also, it's very, very funny how my opponent's Murktide would be a 3/3. What is this? Another dress down. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense to me. So we're just gonna play second Dryad here. Again, like, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to blank my opponent's mana every single step of the way. Every single step of the way, my opponent's just making very inefficient mana exchanges, right? Look at how much mana I've been using every single turn. I've been basically just tapping out from turn 3. I've been tapping out every single turn, and my opponent has achieved absolutely nothing, right? They don't have a board state. They have like some lands and stuff. They cycle a little bit, but like they got very little value out of a really good card against me, which is Dress Down. Like, all of these exchanges favor me greatly. Like, do they just have another Dress Down? Okay. So the issue here is that I don't really have a reason to do anything. Right? I can just go land, land. Go to combat. Put my opponent on 9. Bolt. Snap. Bolt plus a Braid. They can hit here. They don't. So what we do now is I packed. They know about the Cavern. Okay. So I'm just gonna pass the turn now. Because they killed one of my Dryads, so I can't deploy the last land. So I probably should have played the land. Like, I could, but I could have, but I didn't. Maybe I should have. But now, like, we have the Titan in hand. Opponent says GG's. Yeah, I think we navigated this pretty well. And again, like, it all came down to my opponent not being able to put pressure. So I was basically ahead at all points of the game. I came onto the board quickly, and then I was able to stay ahead, and I was able to make my opponent's mana awkward every single turn. So they were just forced into making some plays that they didn't want to make, and we were able to punish them for it. All right, sweet. See you for the next round. All right. Hell yeah. All right, on the play. Pretty good hand. Opponent also keeps 7. Gonna go turn 1 Amulet here, and okay, so Asusa would be our best draw. Second Gracer. We play this. We play Growth Chamber. That leaves us with blue-green floating. Play this. Yeah, we can't actually get ahead on green mana. Next turn, however, we're going to cast Primeval Titan if I play Castle right now. Because I can go Castle, tap, play Gracer, play Growth Chamber, play Growth Chamber, use one of those green mana floating in order to play another Gracer, and then I can cast Primeval Titan. Take 2 from this Yawgmoth, but the good thing is that we do get to haste. Oh no. That's actually a devastating draw, because this means that we don't get to cast, we don't get to haste the prime time anymore now, which is super brutal. So play this again. Oh man, oh, that's such an unlucky draw. That's an insanely unlucky draw. Ugh. Vomit. Well, gonna have to make the best that we can with what we've got. Gonna use my mana to transmute here, and next turn we can play Dryad on my second main phase. So my opponent can go land Yogg here. So we're gonna go land Valakut and a green source. Oh, that's big game. That's big game. Super punished my opponent for having a Dryad Arbor. Well, I guess they can cast Grist here, or Evolution for Grist. I think that's what they're gonna do. Yeah, they're just gonna go get Grist. That buys them a little bit of time. So they're probably gonna suck, what, the other Yawgmoth? I imagine they're gonna suck the other Yawgmoth, yeah. That kills the prime time. That's a devastating draw. Like, that's so bad. So unlucky right there. That's a lucky draw. All right. So here's this, and now we pass the turn. So we are at even life total. So Yawgmoth doesn't kill us unless they go full combo with the guy that gains life. Which maybe they can. They can, like... Yeah, if they have Chord of Calling, they can. Okay, now they can't cast Yogg. And they also can't evolution into it because they can only go up to 3. So, yeah, gonna take this jump here. Kind of no reason not to. Okay, so I think we're good now. So we go float mana. We're gonna pact for Dryad. 1, 2, 3. Gonna play a land and play a land. Valakut. that thing? What do they want to give Alakut? What can they? They can only court for 1. So I think we're just gonna do that. Just gonna go face. Court for 1 doesn't really do anything. Primeval Titan. Cast Prime Time, haste Prime Time off a Crumbling Vestige, or probably off a Bounce Land actually, and just, you know, kill them. Alright, Yawgmoth. We don't want trackers, definitely want dismembers. Definitely want dismembers. Want relics. Potentially want torpor. Unless they're playing something like Eternal Witness, I'm not particularly excited about Bujuki Bog here because we can't really use this at instant speed, which is where we need it. So that's why Crypt and Relic are fine, but Bog is not. I think that we want to cut a couple of Explorers. I think 1 Explosives is fine. And there is an argument for having trackers because my opponent can have Necromentia. So I guess having access to some number of trackers can be useful, because I think Necromentia is a big part of their game plan. Can cut 1 Azusa. Explosives is kind of really medium against them though. Let's cut the Explosives. Let's go with this. Necromentia is kind of beating. Fortunately not much that we can really do against it. This hand is just way too slow on the draw, right? This hand's better. Keep this, gonna ship the redundant castle. And we can go turn 1. Okay, so they definitely have like a Necromentia hand, because like, second Primeval Titan draw is not great. Here's hoping. I mean, second Titan is good against Thoughtseize, but I don't think that Thoughtseize is what my opponent's got. Okay, there's hope. Can we dodge? Can we dodge 1 turn? Can we dodge 1 single turn? Play a Yawgmoth, opponent. Just play your Yawgmoth. How can I ever beat a Yawgmoth? No! Damn it. Alright, so now I have to play in hard mode. We gotta play with like trackers and stuff. Pretty unfortunate. At least we do get 2 zombies, right? Copium. It's so much better than an Mordigo, actually. So much better than a Mordigo. This is like such an integral part of the Yawgmoth deck game plan that I'm wondering if we can actually, like if we were playing Veil of Summer, I think we may want to bring in Veil of Summer against the Yawgmoth deck, which is not really a great card, but specifically coming out of Amulet. Like it almost feels like they mulligan towards Necromentia or something like that, because this is always the play pattern, right? It's just like turn 1 land, turn 2 land, and when that happens and they don't play anything impactful in the first couple of turns, you know that you're about to get Necromentia. So I guess I'm looking for tracker. Tireless Tracker is the best that I got. So here comes Yawg. Putting in court for 1. No attacks is interesting. So I don't think that matters. So I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna chill because this represents 1 extra draw with if I do draw Tireless Tracker or Summoner's Pact. Oh, they got cord. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So we do die to a variety of things here. Not drawing Dismember, also kind of hurtful. Well, my opponent was super dead if they didn't have the Necromantia, but they did. Am I about to get, I think I'm about to get proliferated. The zombies are about to get proliferated. Is that what's up? Tracker. Okay. Soon enough. Opponent is too far ahead. Game number 3. Yeah, I think this is fine. Yeah, gonna keep this hand. Keep. So unless they have a dude on turn 1, we can actually get ahead of the. Oh, come on, they have the Thoughtseize draw now. We have the hand that's good against Necromantia and they have Thoughtseize, and then they have we have the hand that's good against Thoughtseize and they have Necromantia. Big yikes. Big yikes. That's a horrible draw. Oh, come on. Ugh. That's so brutal, man. So play Gracer, Growth Chamber, bounce. And now the question, I think we're gonna redeploy the castle. And next turn, I guess we're gonna go Tracker into T-West. Just not great. Like, we really need to find like a Dismember or something. I just feel like I'm just gonna die to a freaking Yawgmoth. Yeah, that guy. Just gonna lose to that guy. So play Amulet. Play Tracker. Play this. And I want to untap the land first and then make the clue. And this is so I can draw here and play around Force of Vigor. Find more info. Okay. I think I'm gonna bounce the Garrison. Yeah, I'm gonna bounce the Force Garrison again. Pass the turn. Geist. I'm gonna block with this Gracer. They can draw a significant number of cards here. Grist. Okay, so they can sack. Yeah, I'm gonna sack Geist. I'm gonna block the Yawgmoth with Gracer. They can sack the bird to reset this and then sack again, but that takes a token from the thingy, which I think it's fine for me. Gracer doesn't do anything. I guess it allows me to transmute here. So I guess that's fine. Play that. They have 2 Thoughtseizes. They got 2 Thoughtseizes, so they're not playing surgical, so let's do that. Might as well, I guess. So at least this means that we can't really get comboed off. Create a 1/1 Million Wolf. Don't Necromantia me, bro. Don't Necromantia me. Please. Definitely chump blocking just blocking both of these. Because it's very, very important for me to be ahead on life total so I don't just randomly die to a Giralth Messenger. Sure. They should have sacked that, put a counter here, and then reset. They have Necromantia too. Oh. Alright. This allows them to name Summoner's Pact. But yeah, otherwise they just name whatever I get and they get me. I think I'm just going to crack Redicon and step, I think. Yeah, they name Summoner's Pact, but now we have 2 looks at drawing exactly Primeval Titan, and if we do draw exactly Primeval Titan, we actually have a shot. This is close. This is close. So crack. That's a blank. And that's also a blank. I'm gonna hold on to the land because we may find Tireless Tracker. So at this point I think I'm dead. Opponent's gonna chomp. Then they're gonna reset their dude. Sure. Now proliferate to kill this. Can make the Geist larger too. Play that, not play the land because of Tracker. And if we do have prime time, we do have prime time mana anyway, right? 1, 2. So we do have a couple of live draws here. We do have a couple of live draws. Again, I'm just trying to make sure that my life total stays ahead of my opponent's, so I can't get just randomly comboed out. And that's devastating. That's game. Yeah. That's rough. That's super rough. I thought that we were in an okay spot, and then my opponent's hand just... Yeah, just 1 turn too short for this guy. I thought we were in an okay spot, but my opponent's hand was just too much. They had the Thoughtseize ×2 and the Necromantia, and they had the early Yawgmoth as well, so they could get that going. They also had the Grixis to get rid of my own Tireless Tracker. It was just like their hand was just absolutely perfect. I mean, we would have needed to find an insane draw in order to beat that. Anyway, see you next round. All right, round numero 4. Yeah, this is what we call a keep. Colony Garden about to blank. Straight up blank. Some stupid monkeys. Get him out of here. What are they even here for? DRC. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is, ooh, okay. So that's good. So that means that I get to do what I wanted to do and then some. Because I can just play my Gracer here. And now deploy Dryad. And the Colony Garden. And now next turn, even if my opponent kills the Dryad, it just doesn't matter. We're going to be able to cast Primeval Titan. We've got to dodge... I guess the best thing that could happen is my opponent spends resources to deal with this. Or they just play something. Thoughtseize is bad for us. Inquisition... also bad, but we couldn't really play around this. So they're just going to get our Summoner's Pact, which is obviously devastating, but we couldn't have really played around this, because if we play out the Gracer, so we can, you know, pay for our Pact, then we're in a situation where we just don't have the mana to play the Titan, so we're kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't at that point. Pretty unfortunate. Pretty unfortunate. We just had to draw that one discard spell, that one single turn. Here I'm holding onto this Gracer because of Croxa. Opponent's playing a Grixis deck, so not unlikely to be playing Croxa, and I don't think that, you know, they're redundant. Terminate my Dryad, that's fine. That I don't think that the redundant thing is worth it. I mean, if we do find Primetime, we kind of just win. So that's cool. So we just have to draw Primeval Titan right here. It's pretty bad. So now that we're in this situation, this is bad against Kolaghan's command, but I think that what I want to do is I want to play this so I can switch up, because I don't have double blue now. So by having the Simigrowth Shimmer in hand, next turn if I do draw a Tolera West, I can go... they're going to Kolaghan's command me here. Yeah, that's okay. I think I just discard the Forest. But I could have actually transmuted a Tolera West. Obviously. Obviously that. Oh no, I actually messed this up here. I mean, I have to go for it now, but I messed this up because now I shouldn't have played the Gracer. I should have just left the Gracer in hand. And yeah, because now second Kolaghan's command or Croxa is a big deal. Yeah, I actually threw this game. Like, I threw this game terribly. What I had to do is I just had to play my land and hold on to the Gracer and just go from there. So should have definitely won this game. Very easily won this game. It's brutal. That feels really bad. Imagine I play my Primetime here, exile their Croxa, reset their DRC, set up next Primeval Titan. We're looking like $1 million. And instead I'm, you know, kind of stuck. I'm gonna take my Champarinos here, because like Displant tokens can still block Turak all day. It's brutal. Ah, man. I need to tighten up. Gotta tighten up. Gotta tighten up. All right, Primeval Titan. Primeval Titan off the top, and we actually may be able to win. That's not it. No, we're actually on board to these things. Well, I threw that game terribly. I can't believe how I threw that game. Opponent says big fan though. I don't know what to say. Like, I beat you, but I'm a big fan though, so don't worry about it. Like, okay. Cool. I'm gonna give him thanks. Thanks and I don't know. Big fan though. That's a first. That's pretty funny actually. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. That's a good time. Big fan though. And these hands are, I mean, I have to keep them, but they're, I guess they're fine, but they're pretty devastating, really. It's like we're always like one tiny little piece away from perfection. Can we find the Dryad? Asusa. Play my Amulet. Play this. Bounce. Play my Gracer. Play that. So you go. Next turn we get to Summoner's Pact again. Hoping that my opponent doesn't have Surgical Extraction, because it would be really good here. You know what's really good though? This Gracie Boy. This Gracie Boy is also pretty good. That's how good the Gracie Boy is. Okay. So we're gonna transmute this turn. That plays around a Thoughtseize. We're gonna get hit by this monkey. We're gonna help to dodge Call Against Command. Like we're just dead to Call Against Command, I think, unless we find any untapped land, I guess. Would Jugibog enter the exile zone? That's kind of a beating. You have to be kidding me, dude! Wow. All right, I'm taking a beating. Jeez. Oh. Can we draw a Primeval Titan off the top? Please. So if we find Prime Time, I think we're going to be in fine shape. Tracker would also be fine. Man, I can't believe I lost game one. I should have won game one so easily. And the worst part is like I was playing around the Croxa all of the game by holding that Grazer in hand, and I don't know why I just like automatically clicked on and just played the Grazer for no reason. I just wanted to get value of the stupid thing and the Colony Garden, and I was punished for it. So that's the Terminate, that's gone. Oh, come on, man. You gotta give me a break here, you know? Wonder what they name here. I wonder if they name Celestia Sanctuary. Simic Growth Chamber is what they name. It's a good draw. I think that counts as a good draw. So it is almost never correct to name a bounce land with Alpine Moon. It's extremely rare for it to be correct to name a bounce land with Alpine Moon. I think I just want to develop mana here because I'm gonna try to do multiple things next turn, I think. Definitely want the Valakut in play, and I think I want a Colony Garden to prevent another monkey hit. No, I want a second blue source. So let's go to Lurrus West, Valakut. We still have one Summoner's Pact in the deck. So let's go T-West Valakut. Sure, my opponent may have another Terminate in hand. But if they don't, we're good to go. Oh, and Holy Heat, that's right. Yeah, they have. I mean, I would have gone for BG Yawgmoth, but I knew that it was exiled, so. So I think they're dead, though. Cavern of Souls gets exiled. Okay, so that's free. And this is gonna look unorthodox, actually. This is gonna look very unorthodox, but I think what I want to do is I want to go Stronghold first, then play Dryad, then play Growth Chamber. Because if I do that, I can go 1, 2, 3 to play the Dryad. Sorry, it's like 1, 2, I guess 1, 2, 3 to play the Dryad, 3 to transmute, and then yeah. So it looks like I'm missing on a trigger from Dryad, but in reality what I'm doing is I'm guaranteeing that a hit on the Dryad doesn't blow me out. So float blue here, bounce, blue, blue, and whatever. Last Summoners packed for prime time. Prime time, kill them. All right, game number 3. Don't like Thrawn. I do like Baloth. Do like Force. I think Tracker's fine. I think this is fine. I'm not loving the explosives. That's the only card that I'm not sure about. Maybe I want Azusa on the draw. They do have Alpine Moon. So just like having, you know, maybe the Alpine Moon can be randomly problematic, and just having one of answer to Alpine Moon can be good. Yeah, can keep this hand. Opponent keeps 7 as well. Turn 1 monkey. Grazer? No! Come back here. I need you on my side, Grazer. No land drop is good. No land drop is good. Probably gonna take the Dryad here. It's the best card in my hand. Another Darcy. So our best draw is Azusa. I think I would be feeling pretty confident that we're going to win if we find Azusa. Kept on top, so I'm assuming that they found the land. Do I want to crack this? It gives me one more look at an Azusa. But then it allows the Darcys to start really clocking me. How desperate am I? They kept on top, so I'm assuming that they're gonna find the land that they're missing. I guess that both Azusa and explosives are really good draws. Okay, let's crack. It's pretty good. All right. think I'm playing this and this because that plays around what's his name very nicely? Plays around Alpine Moon. Yeah. Boom, baby. So definitely want a bounce land amongst these things. I guess I'm gonna get 2 growth chambers. Yeah, let's do that actually. Let's get 2 growth chambers, maximize my mana, and play around Collin's command, stuff like that. Terminating here would be sort of annoying, but still fine. Iteration means no terminate, which is good for us. Wow, okay, so they're gonna have Delirium here. It's pretty insane, actually. The fact that they found Delirium just like off of a single spell. Unholy Heat. Yep. All right. That's pretty good, opponent. That's a pretty good turn. It's a pretty good turn. Yeah, I probably have to save 3 points of damage here. Ujugibog MVP here. So we can't haste because we don't have white mana. But we can go Ujugibog for sure, and we can go Radiant Fountain. Yeah. We're gonna play the Gracer, but I think we're gonna chill. Engineer explosives for 0, just trying to flip the Darcys. By flip, obviously, I mean put Lurrus in hand. Okay, so we're gonna pay for Pact. Say yes. Going to transmute. So even if their last card in hand is Unholy Heat, that just doesn't do anything. So for a single mana, there's no way that they can blow me out for doing this. So I'm just gonna Pact for Dryad. I think it's safe. Play land. Boom. Got there. Even though I completely threw game 1, I at least managed to get there in games 2 and 3. Shout out to Relic, slowing down the opponent Darcys, and shout out to Bajugibog for being a homie and exiling Croxus and all sorts of problematic stuff. See you in the last round. All right, last round playing Amulet on a budget. It's pretty rough. We're on the draw, and we have close to a turn 4 kill. I think if we had a Gracer, or we had an Amulet, I would keep this, but I think we doubt it. It's gonna be too slow on the draw. Opponent does not reveal Companion either, so it can be like UR Murktide, it can be so many things. Living End. Should I keep this? Probably not. This is kind of better and worse at the same time somehow. Okay. Yawg once again. I don't like where this is going. Don't like where this is going. Yep, definitely against Yawg. Well, here's hoping my opponent doesn't have Grist, because that would be kind of beating. They actually have turn 3 Yawg. I can find Explore, so I think playing the untapped land there is better. Primeval type. Okay, so we can... I guess we can't get in there, right? If I get in there, I'm trading Burst of Paradise for... That's probably fine, right? My opponent goes down. Oh, I had to allow myself to get Ghost Quarter. I guess we technically can find Castle next turn. Yeah, I think I'm attacking. So we're basically trading the tracker for a Birds of Paradise. But I think, considering that I'm kind of super dead to this Yawgmoth, is potentially a good trade for me. So I think I'll take it. I think that denying my opponent mana is important. Oh, protection from humans. Oh. That's right. Protection from humans is a thing. That's a that's a relevant line of text right there, huh? Funny. Mistakes were made, lessons were learned. Mistakes were made and lessons were learned. So they're just gonna chord for Geist. Chord for Geist and tap for... We lose to Messenger, I think? No, I don't think we lose to Messenger. Yeah, I don't think we lose to Messenger. Protection from humans. Huh. I think I literally never had that interaction come up. Literally ever. Never had that interaction come up somehow. Definitely taking a block here. If opponent wants to sack their thing to make my little Gracie boy smaller, I think that's fine. Geralf Messenger. I actually don't know if I'm dead here or not. Oh yeah, I am actually, because I forgot the actual ETB trigger for this. So yeah, no, we're actually just dead. We're actually just dead. I'm not gonna make my opponent click through a bunch of things. Not worth anybody's time. So I think we want relics. We definitely want dismembers, and like we're kind of probably forced into having some number of tireless trackers because of the freaking what's his name, the Necromancia. Man, that sucks. That's one of the good things about, you know, having Liberator in your deck, or Karn or something like that. Karn in particular. Karn is absolutely fantastic against Yawgmoth. And, you know, it can go find your Piety Needle from the sideboard. They can, you know, Liquid Metal Coating, start blowing up their stuff. But also it's something that they, you know, they need a second Necromancia in order to get rid of your Karn. So I think that having such a robust alternate threat that attacks on a completely different angle is a big deal in a matchup where your opponent's going to be relying on Necromancer always in order to kill you. So All right. So this hand is nice in that doesn't rely too much in the Titans because we can go Dryad. It's just way too slow though. If I had any untapped land there, I would have probably kept it, but I'm gonna keep this one though. Bottom the Vesuva. Next turn we can go Amulet. If they have turn 2 Necromantia, I'm just gonna flip the table, you know? Play land. Being kind of punished by like the amount of ETB tapped lands that I've drawn. And it's funny because I don't really have that many. Is my opponent going to force? Yeah, my opponent 100% has Force of Vigor. 500% has Force of Vigor. If they're going to force, they shouldn't do it now. They should untap and, you know, go to their turn. Yeah. Played around it like a champ. Played around it like a champ. So now what we can do is play Amulet, play this, play Dryad, play land, play Relic, and might as well do that just because they only have 2 cards in hand, so it's not that likely that I'm dead here. They can go land Yawgmoth, land the Yawgmoth, and then untap and core for another Young Wolf. Alright, no Necromantia is big game. So now they can core for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on my turn. But they can't kill this Dryad, I don't think. Not with the mana that they have. Okay, so these are gonna be... Yeah, so I think we're supposed to play both lands here because the Dryad makes these forests, so the castle enters and taps, so it doesn't give my opponent priority. And now we can pact for prime time, and we can hold up Relic activation. 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, they can go for... They can't kill prime time though. They can kill Dryad, for what's worth. And I don't want to lower... I don't want to lower my guard on the Relic activation. So let's do this. And I think I'm gonna go for Valakut plus this T-West. The issue with going for T-West is that I think I'm gonna go for fetch land actually. Oh, we don't have a fetch on this deck list. Never mind. So if I go for T-West, I make my dross better. So I think that's fine. I'm gonna kill the Yawg right now. Definitely want to get a Valakut. Opponent takes 8. Exile the Yawg. But now even if they have Grist, it's not that big of a deal because If they kill my Titan, we still have Dryad going. And we do have another crack with this relic. We do lose to Magus of the Moon. Don't have Magus of the Moon. Good. Good for us. Alright, last game. We're gonna be able to get that glorious 4-1, or we're gonna be have to be content with a 3-2. I really want to get that 4-1, so again, I'm very afraid of Necromancia, so I'm gonna go for trackers, which I'm not loving too much, but it kind of is what it is. We don't really have any other options. Hey, it's a pretty good hand. We do have to be wary of Force, but also have to be wary of Thoughtseize. Also have to be wary of Necromancia. Gotta be wary of everything. So turn 1, turn 2, and then we can choose whether we want to play around Force or not. Never mind, opponent knows now. Imagine they're gonna take the Amulet anyway. If they don't take the Amulet, I'm going to basically think that my opponent is 100% to have a Force, so I'm probably gonna play very differently here. We do still get to draw it onto potentially primetime on 3. Not guarantee that we get to primetime on 3, but maybe. Really want to dodge that Necromancia. That's the main goal here. Not too much to do here though. This is just what we gotta do. Let's see that Necromancia. Show me, opponent. Show me the Necromancia. Summoner's Pact is a fine draw, actually, because now we can... Summoner's Pact is most definitely a fine draw, because it means that now we get to... We could pact for Tracker if we want to. No upkeep Force, so we're just gonna go play these cards, just cast my Primeval Titan, and I'm just going to blow up their board. Very important to kill the Wall of Roots, I think. So I think the play is to double Valakut here. 1, 2, and I can't go for lethal, unfortunately, so I think that killing their stuff is worth it, because keeping them stuck on mana is how I can potentially win this game. They're gonna court for another wall, which makes sense. But then, you know, they don't have Yawgmoth mana. Blood Artist? Okay. Well, I'm pretty confused about that, I'll tell you. Because now they only have 2 mana. Well, like, how can they ever win with only 2 mana? Like, what's their end game, right? Yep, that's it. Awesome, 4-1. Okay, sweet. So far we played 3 different leagues with Budget Amulet. We went 4-1 with our very most budgety version at around $300. We went 2-3 with one at $400, which was still very strong, I think, but we got a lot unluckier. And now we went 4-1 with this other budget version, which is worth only, let me double check, to make sure, $515. That's the total number of dollars that we're talking about. 218 tickets on Magic Online. So as you can see, this is insanely cheap as far as modern decks go. And as you can see, you can navigate this deck to some pretty solid and consistent finishes. So you don't need to spend, you don't need to put a mortgage on your house in order to be able to win in the modern format. So all it needs is just making sure that you're building your deck properly, making sure that you're making the most out of that budget, which is hopefully what we're trying to do here, and just playing tight and making sure that you get a little bit lucky. As with everything, you always need to get a little lucky to win at Magic. That's just how it works by design. So obviously I think that the more, like, the higher budget that we got, the better that the list is going to be. So obviously I do think that this deck list in particular is much better than the two ones that we played earlier. But again, like, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to give you allow you to order your priorities properly, if that makes sense, right? Like, if you have a limited budget, what is better for you to put that budget towards, if that makes sense. And I think that so far I'm fairly certain that what we want to do is we want to, first you need to make sure that your basic stuff you can basically never avoid. But our very first deck list without playing Dryad, I think it's perfectly fine. Then we slowly added the Dryad plus Valakut package, and then finally now we're adding some of the utility lands that really make the deck tick and really take it to the next level. And we actually, in this very late, we did see how important this Cavern of Souls was when we got paired against the UR Murktide deck, right? And we were able to just use this Cavern of Souls in order to completely blank my opponent's hand. So as you can see, all of these little tiny upgrades that you make will definitely matter. But there's no real use, as you can see, in if you have a limited budget, in going ahead and buying all of your copies of Urza Saga, because there's just no need for them. As you can see, we're winning fairly consistently. We have a very solid winning record with this deck list, completely foregoing the Urza Sagas. So the idea is to make sure that you are spending that money and you're getting the most bang for your buck. And hopefully you are enjoying this video series. If you do, make sure you let me know in the comments as usual, and hit that like and subscribe button if you like it. For the next video, we're going to be adding just a little bit more spice. We're going to start looking at some other cards that I think are fairly good and that can greatly improve your deck list. So but for now, this I think is the first time that we're in a spot where I'm like, this deck has all the minimal pieces that I want to have, and I wouldn't be too embarrassed to bring this deck to an actual event. I think you're going to be doing just perfectly fine in FNM. I think that maybe you're not gonna, if it's 4 rounds, you're not gonna 4-0 every single weekend, but you can certainly 4-0 with this deck list, and maybe you're looking more at consistently 2-2 and 3-1ing with this deck. But yeah, this is the first one that I'm like, this is robust. This is like a solid deck list that has its bases covered. Is it optimal? No, it isn't. But that's not the point just yet. We will get there, fear not. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care and bye-bye.